Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus. And where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well. And you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey, and don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal, it's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay.
Pisces, right, let's go through what's going on with you and the eclipse. This is it's going to be, it's not necessarily about your individual life, it's more about what the eclipse how it can affect your life around you at the moment, and see what's happening there. Just seeing what's coming out with these. 9 of Cups, King of Cups. There's quite a lot going on for you. Page of Cups. Well, it's definitely all about you at the moment. And the Hermit in the middle. So Pisces is really affected by life and death situations, so birth and obviously the passing of other people, and etc. They seem to be very sort of emotionally attached to that sort of scenario, that sort of situation. And you might look at the eclipse a little bit like that. And this is that initiator, this eclipse on the 30th, with the conclusion on the 25th of October, 30th of April, that is. And just seeing how it sort of plays out with you. Let's just have a look. So this is on your spiritual sort of side, or your emotional relationships, that sort of thing. And this is on your financial sort of side, business pleasures, well, yeah, business, jobs, projects, that sort of thing. And this is the energy that's running straight through you at the moment. So, a lot of people have had these three cards here already, and that Fool has come up in a lot of people, and that Devil. So there's definitely this whole sort of root sort of thing that I was talking about earlier on coming through you. And you do have a lot of water and fire in you. You're incredibly, as Pisces is pure water. And you'll be able to see your Astroflower. If you click on it below, you'll be able to see how the elements combine to go through you and how they connect with all the petals and stuff like that. And, Pisces does have a lot of fire going through them, because your neighbour is Aries, who is a pure fire sign. But it's not just that. You also have sort of like the fire from Gemini, the fire from Taurus, and also the pressure coming in from Sagittarius. So it mainly affects these sort of three petals here. So this seems to be a case of, as this eclipse comes through, and it appears to be a changing point for most people. And as I say, it's the initiator. It's not the be all and end all. It's the starting of something that's going to last over 6 months. And we will be pulling cards on the 6 months on your monthly reading in May, which will be coming up after this. And as this comes through, it is obviously, it's going to provide sort of choices for you, or possibilities within the emotional field. And that could be with lovers, friends, community, family, that sort of thing. And not all presents are welcome. So, and this is where the Devil comes into play on this sort of side as well. You've got to know what emotions you want to enjoy in this coming year from here, because this seems to be a bit of an initiator, really. Because we did a world reading on this, and that will be linked in the description below. We were talking about the Taurus Tower moment, and this could well be it. And I've been talking as well about it in Cymatic TV through the messages from the earth that we do, so a lot of channeling and stuff like that. And this choices might have been thrown up in front of you, and choices are not your favourite friend half the time, simply because it can create confusion for you when they've got too many choices, like everybody, I guess, but more so for Pisces, because you're just so emotionally engaged with life. And having that emotions that are abundant within you, it's possibly a good idea that you stay true and clear to your emotions going forward. If you do that, then obviously you're going to be able to start creating or manifesting a situation which will provide you that stable emotional state. There is a bit of a warning card with the Three of Swords, and at the moment you're the only one that's actually come up with that. Sorry about that, sort of Pisces. I think you're the only one, but it's in a position that's just slightly under the surface. So, as I say, it's not based upon the individual. It may be a case that actually it's a separation to an old way of doing things, which could be painful, but I think it's more of a case of a realization that the world doesn't function in the way it used to function before before over the last 2-3 years, and now it's come home to roost, and you're realizing that separation from certain aspects of your life is probably a good thing for you, because you got the Page of Cups up the top. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a painful separation. It's more of a case of maybe like a painful realization, because a lot of people will have been getting the Six of Cups as well, which is all to do with nostalgia and stuff like that. But for you guys, I think it's more of a case of realizing that the past is not coming back. The old norm is not coming back, and the new norm is here, and that may cause you a bit of pain simply because it's not emotionally secure as it was before. So that's what it sort of appears to be like on your emotional sort of front. Let's just have a look on your sort of like financial front. That seems to be eventful is the best way to describe it. You've got the Fool coming in, so basically, and you've got the Devil at the base here, and this is the cards that it's going to be mainly affecting. Although on your financial side, looking at your elements, I would have thought it's going to be the Nine of Cups, the Page of Cups, but also the Hermit and the Sword. This sort of square up the top here seems to be the thing that's going to be the most effect upon you, along with that base. But on the financial sort of side here is it's a little bit, it's very similar to what's going on the emotional sort of side. This is why I think it's happening on a wider scale that's affecting the environment, and this could be the financial environment as much as the emotional environment around us. And on the financial sort of side, you're going to realize that with this new paradigm, this new way of being, as it's sort of initiated with this eclipse and it comes through over this coming year, you're going to realize that not all that glitters is gold. There is going to be temptations to sort of head off in different directions, and that is what that Fool card and that Devil is all about. It could be a lot about enjoying yourself and exploring different avenues, but not all avenues will bear fruit, as it were, and you have to be patient going forward in this. If this is the same thing with the King of Cups and the Temperance, so you've got this patience that needs to be applied to you, which sometimes can be difficult for Pisces, simply because the fish likes the river to be constantly flowing. Excuse me a second. The fish definitely does like water to be flowing rather than it to be stagnant water, stagnant emotions and stuff like that. So as the new financial sort of landscapes appears in front of you, there is going to be lots of opportunities for you here, and you can see that with the Nine of Cups. So I think it's being patient and waiting for the right moment to seize upon. And because you're so emotionally engaged with life, that may be difficult to see that part. So it's going to ask for a little bit of work from you, and this is where but there is definitely a lot that's going to be offered to you with those Nine of Cups. So this is what you've got to do. If you are patient about and not necessarily take the first opportunity that comes along, the first opportunity may well be the best thing for you. Obviously, you will have to decide this. But if you apply, and this is what you should be doing, if you apply a bit of patience to the outside world and wait for that best thing to come through, and you also apply a bit of stability and calm within your emotions, all of a sudden you will be able to put your those beautiful gifts coming in from that new landscape, that new financial landscape that is around you. The Hermit card, which is in the center of you, and this comes back to that bit of patience that you do need to exercise. It's not a patience as if it's a sort of saying, oh, when are they going to turn up? It's more of a patience of kind of going, do I want that? Oh, hang on, wait, it's going up. It's going up. The bet is getting better. It's getting better. Okay, I'm going to cash out on that one. This is what you need to be doing. And this is what the learning part of that Hermit is all about. And the Hermit, usually it's someone showing, they go up a mountain, but it's a stairwell that goes up a mountain on the other cards. And as they go up the mountains, then they can meditate and actually float in air and actually shine out their brighter light. And this is what you need to do. This is a moment where you need to be centralized within yourself and realize what you're understanding here through being patient about the things that are coming through for you. And if you do, it's going to start a beautiful journey of learning about the emotions and love and your combination with everybody and everything around you. And as you do that, it's gonna really grow into something really beautiful. And it'd be interesting to see how it pans out for the next 6 months with a finality on the October eclipse, which is a total eclipse. Okay, so we are going to go through here and do your monthly readings. If you want to see your monthly readings, you have the link in the description or in the comments below. Please go down and click on that, and you'll meet me over there for your monthly readings, where we'll be pulling cards for the next 6 months to the next eclipse. In the meantime, Pisces, sorry, I do apologize about that. In the meantime, Pisces, do enjoy and make sure life is fun.